Are live. We're going live. Fantastic. My name is Anthony Pica. This is A VO's Journey, and this show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. It's Fiverr Friday. That's right. Fiverr Friday, baby. We are coming to you live to talk about Fiverr, how you can grow your business, how you can get more work, and how you could just be a general happy human being. I really believe that. And that's right, yes. So I want to welcome everybody that's coming in from Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. It's great to have you here. I've got my coffee. I've got my interesting little banner right here. Fiverr Friday. And that's VO's Journey. Yes, it feels good. We made it to Friday, and it snowed outside, so that's really awesome. So if you're new to the channel or you haven't been to a Fiverr Friday yet, what we do is I have a little spiel that I do, and then I take questions, all your questions live right here, and I do my very best to answer them to help you get work. You can post them if you're watching live on Instagram, if you're watching live on YouTube. I will say that there are some channels right now because Facebook has done a few things, switch things around as they always do. So there are some places that are not. I actually have my ceremonial pen today, or my Sharpie dry erase marker. What is snow? That's right. So thank you, Zach, for reminding me. I have my Sharpie today. But anyways, yeah. So what you do is you ask questions, and I was saying Facebook. So basically, there's some places on Facebook, like if you're watching from a VO's Journey Facebook group. Facebook has changed that, so you can no longer actually watch or post comments. So if you want to actually make comments or make some questions, okay, then what you want to do is you want to come here to YouTube, or you can hop on Instagram to ask questions. I think you can go to Anthony Pica VO, my business page, because I'm streaming live there as well, but it is easier for you to come to YouTube. And before we dive in here, let's go ahead and just make a quick comment to you to please hit the subscribe button so that you can be aware every time I go live, as well as post videos, and you can easily find your way back. And go ahead, and if you like this, tick the like button, and we'll get off to the races. If you're on Twitter or if you're on Facebook, share, like, retweet, and all that jazz, and make sure you follow me there as well. I'm very, very excited to be talking today about how to get work, or what you are doing to get work on Fiverr. I think the reality is that so many of us want that dream. It's a good dream. I mean, the Fiverr dream is pretty good. I mean, basically, you wake up in the morning and you got a whole bunch of work in your inbox that you didn't have to work very hard for. You go into your booth, you record everything, you're done by lunch, and, you go and have a nice rest of your day. It's a good dream. It's a really nice dream. And is it reality? It can be. It can be reality. But I had to get a sip of coffee for this one. But you have to work your butt off to get there. And I do think that it's important to, know that there's ups and downs. There's ups and downs like any other business. So what I want to talk to you today is, are you actually doing anything to get work? Meaning that, Fiverr, the market, it's a marketplace clearly, and you post a gig there, and, Fiverr markets like crazy, spending millions, hundreds of millions of dollars all over the world, all over in different countries to bring customers to us. But when they come to us, what are you doing on the platform? I mean, the thing with Fiverr, the platform is so big. There's so much on that platform. There's so many things that you can do to get work. And I kind of want to go over 3 different things today that I think will help you get work on that platform. Now, the first thing I'm going to recommend, and this is, again, if you are just starting off, but honestly, this is not actually, this is a tip that's not just for people who are starting off. This is a tip for people who have been on Fiverr for a while and trying to get work. And, this tip is build out as many gigs as Fiverr will allow. I mean, listen, the reality is that you've got to. Now, let me make a caveat here. Make sure you build them out in the right place. Like, for example, I built out a gig where it was a really good gig where I did review gigs, right? I would review voice actors, their profiles for them on Fiverr. And I built that out in the business tips section. And that grew to be getting like over 20,000 impressions a month, which was wonderful, but it was in the wrong section, like it wasn't voiceover, right? So basically I was getting contacted by all sorts of people who wanted me to do product reviews. And that was a nightmare because that's not what I want to do. I want to help voice artists, voice actors with their Fiverr businesses. So, that was a complete waste to me of 20,000 impressions a month. Right? Because I was getting constantly messaged by people that I did not want to work with. So I think it's important that you realize where you are actually putting your gigs to. So make sure they're in the right place. But I have stories littered with voice actors who have built out as many gigs as possible. So let's go back over it. Level 0, or you're just starting out, is 7 gigs. Level 1 is 10. Level 2 is 20. And level 3, or top-rated seller, is no level 3, is top-rated seller, you get 30. And you can build them all out. And listen, I know some people who were very reluctant and have gone back and forth, and then finally dove in and built out as many as they could, and they're having amazing success. And then there's a lot of people who also recommend not building out their gigs. To take them all down and only have one and focus on that one gig. I think the thing is that if you look at your impressions as a whole and getting out there to everything, you have to think that if you had a gig, right, that does 1,000 impressions a month, okay? Well, what if you had 7 gigs that did 500 impressions a month? So now you have 3,500 impressions total, as opposed to 1,000 impressions. I hope you are seeing, even though it was less, it's half than what your 1 gig is, you're still getting 3 times as much exposure. And make no mistake, I'm going to tell you why Fiverr is so I'm going to give you the secret. You want to know the secret why Fiverr is so successful and why why a lot of us are making a killing on Fiverr? It's because they are a marketing machine. They bring so many people to that site. The attention that we get on that site is unparalleled right now. Okay? And by the way, it's unparalleled because of the type of attention. Now, you might look at like voices.com or Voice123, and I did a really in-depth comparison between voices.com and Voice123 recently. That's on a VO's journey. It's a blog that I did. And the thing is that those sites have massive traffic as well. But right now Fiverr is outpacing all of them. I mean, just with the sheer amount of money they are spending. And I know for a fact, like in places like in the UK, Fiverr is outspending every single company. And Fiverr, it's insane how much money Fiverr is spending all over the world, and it shows. So the reality is that our path to success is way more than just how talented we are. Yes, it's important that we build our skills always and that we have good equipment, yada, yada. That's all. We know that. But the key is getting in front of enough people. The attention. And when I say attention, don't mistake that for just like, being seen. I mean the attention of somebody, like where are people spending more attention, like focused attention? Because the reality is you could, again, we all know this, right? But I'm going to say it again. You could be the most talented voice actor in the world, but if you are not getting in front of people, if people are not seeing what you're offering, it doesn't matter one hill of beans. It doesn't. We know that. That's like common sense, but I don't think common sense oftentimes goes out the wall, right? We can forget it, and we realize that getting in front of people, that should be our daily business. All right, voiceover, our services, yes, that's our product, but that's not our job. Our job is to go to the places and then find out, when we find those places where the attention is, how to get as much attention as possible. That's our job. Okay, and that's why Fiverr is being so successful. Many of us on Fiverr are being extremely successful. So that first part about that is you need to give yourself every opportunity to be successful on Fiverr by getting yourself as many places as you can in the right categories. In this case, we're talking about voiceover. Don't make the mistake. Like I say to you at the beginning of all of my videos and my podcasts and everything, that, I step on the landmines so you don't have to. I'm serious, like don't do what I did and build out a gig in another place if you don't want to get because I put the review gig in that one spot thinking that maybe people would find it, because I didn't know, because I've never built out gigs outside of the voiceover category. And sure enough, that was the wrong place to build a gig, and it hurt me. So, I had to figure that out and refocus and, make a shift. And I'm recovering from that. But you got to do things and try things, or you'll never know. And the people I did, now mind you, I did probably, 30 or 40 reviews from that. Now, by the way, you can order those gig reviews right directly off of VO's Journey. And I've already had people actually ordering them from my website. So that's really cool. Thank you. But the thing is that it's, all the people that were coming to that gig on Fiverr were coming from off of Fiverr, like here, or from the Facebook group, or from all the stuff that I do, all the media and stuff I put out. So, it wasn't actually growing, but because I brought all of that in, and people were going through and, giving 5-star reviews and leaving tips, which, the voiceover community is so generous. All of you, all of us are so generous. It's so wonderful to be a part of this community. But anyways, it boosts your gig. So of course my numbers were going through the roof in the wrong section. So what I'm trying to say is the first thing you need to do is you need to build out as many gigs as possible so that you can find the places, you can find the cracks, that you can find more work. All right? Because again, like I said, one gig at 1,000, even if you had 3 gigs, okay, and both of them were at 700 impressions a month, that's 2,100 impressions. But then if you have 7 gigs and each one of them are only getting 500 impressions, like we said, well, again, that's 3,500 impressions. Clearly it makes sense to add more. There are different parts in your business where you might not want to add more, but just make sure you keep them within the voiceover category. All right, so that's the first thing. All right, so number 2. Now, it's so interesting to me because this is definitely something that I think is a very wonderful place to get work, but you have to do it correctly, and that is the buyer's request section. So on Fiverr, there's a buyer's request section, and I think it's been misunderstood by many people, and a lot of people are approaching it wrong. And what I mean by that is that on the buyer request section, there, what you need to do is, you go there, and it's a place where people post work. Either they post it there because they don't know what to look for, or they can't find a gig that quite matches what they're looking for, or they want to they're trying to get something for a less expensive price, or they're trying to find something they can't do. Most of the time they're posting there to find something they can't find, okay, or they don't know what to look for, right? Well, there's a lot of people who use the buyer's request section. I've been a big advocate of it, but I notice that people are kind of using it wrong. And what I mean by that is, what happens is people will go on there, and someone will post a job, like I have a quick video voiceover, and I would like it to it's 150 words, and I've got a $15 budget or something like that, right? Well, people are going on to that, And, these people are getting bombarded with all sorts of crazy stuff. Meaning like, when you post an offer for these buyer requests, it's important that you make sure your offer is clear, it's concise. You need to make sure that you have a link in your offer that's going to your actual gig. Most people don't realize this, but when you send an offer to that person, they don't get to see your actual gig, right? You can't see that. So you have to really make sure that you link link your gig in the offer, or they won't be able to actually click over to see your Fiverr video. I know it's weird. I don't know why Fiverr does that, but it is what it is. So you have to put that link in there, all right? And you also need to make sure that you are making it worth their while, because you're trying to get business. You're trying to generate business. You know what I mean? Don't be, if you're going there trying to generate business, don't be... I'll stop. I don't like to say what you shouldn't be, but I just be aware, right, that you're trying to, make them want to work with you. So just keep that in mind when you have demands. Okay? So just make sure you're trying to be friendly and work with them. The buyer's request section, though, still remains one of the best places to go on a consistent basis. And remember, you might send a buyer's request today, and you might not hear back from them in a week, but then in a week and a half, you hear from them, or you hear from someone else who they heard from. This is one of, again, the biggest misconceptions. We think that if we do something right now and it doesn't pay off right now, it doesn't work. But the reality is this is definitely this is a game. This is a long game. I mean, unless you're in this for, a week, unless you only want to do this for a week and move on, you know what I mean? Then you got to understand that this is, we want to keep working for years and years and years to come. So you have to treat this like it's a long game. And when you're playing the long game, consistency is everything. All right, consistency, daily activity, daily consistency. I know I talk about those lead measures that take us to the lag measures or our lag goals is everything. Those daily activities, measuring those activities, consistently putting up buyer requests, all right, not paying attention if you got work today or not, but continually doing it. And then what will happen to you is one day you're gonna wake up and all of a sudden you're gonna start seeing work trickling in, more work trickling, until one point you're like, I can't believe I got so much work coming in. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's amazing. And everybody will be like, oh my gosh, you're a Fiverr all-star. You're amazing. How did you do it overnight? It was not done overnight. It was done day after day after day after day after day of consistent, constant work on your part. That's how you're successful on Fiverr and anywhere else. If you don't do that, you're not going to be successful. When you first start out, you're not going to get traffic. You're just not going to get a lot of stuff. You've got to generate it. Again, that's why the title of this, what are you doing to get work on Fiverr? Well, what are you doing to get work anywhere? Okay? You got to do more than just put up your stuff on a site. All right, so that's the second thing. The third option is more for people who have done some work on Fiverr already. There is a contact section, all right, on Fiverr. If on the top ribbon of your profile or whatever, there's on the top ribbon, there's a more section. If you hit that more and you go down, they've got a bunch of different things. Like that's where you go to the buyer's request, but also there's contacts. And if you click on that, that takes you to all the people who have purchased from you in the past. Fiverr allows you to send every single one of them an offer or message them, which, by the way, as you know, you've been on the platform for any period of time, you can't just send messages. You can't you can't, it used to be that you could. You used to be able to go to people, right? You used to actually be able to go to people's profiles and look at their reviews that they were getting from other people. And then you could actually click on those people and message them. You used to be able to do that, but Fiverr took that away, right? So you can't message anybody on Fiverr unless you're trying to purchase something from someone or they've already purchased from you. You can contact them then, all right? And here's the thing. When you send them an offer, they cannot mark you as spam. Fiverr doesn't allow that. Okay, so that's a really beneficial thing. Now, if you're just starting out again, that's not exactly the most helpful tip, but if you've been around for a while, it's extremely helpful. Just the other day, I was going through, I messaged somebody, they came back and said, hey, I don't need anything, I don't need anything at the moment. I was like, that's cool. And then like literally, I'm not kidding, 4 hours later, like, well, hey, actually, we just had a job come in and, they bought a job for me just like that because, and I hadn't worked with them since, I hadn't worked with them in a year. But reaching out to them and doing that, it works. It really works. And by the way, that works anywhere, not just Fiverr, right? But the point is that Fiverr gives you those tools on there to use. Please don't make the mistake thinking it doesn't matter if you do these things or not. It always matters. Whenever I was working, when I used to work in the theater and we built sets and everything, and we were always concerned about, what the value of what we were doing was going to add to the show and what it would look like to the audience. I always, in my mind, and this goes for everything, but in my mind, it was always like, every little piece matters, right? Every little action, every small, minuscule part of the picture matters, okay? Shouldn't just be there for no reason. And it shouldn't be done the very best it could be done. Same thing with you. It should be done the very best it could be done. All right. So anyways, that's my spiel. I'm sticking to it. I want to go over here. There's been a lot of chatter over on all the sites. As I try to watch, because when I'm talking to you guys, I'm looking at a little dot on a camera, and then I have my screen and I see all this stuff coming down. So I've got to try to go back. Let me go over on Instagram first. We got AOP Productions. What's up? Let's see. You have a question. Where are places that I could look for work, even unpaid? I'm trying to build. Well, we're talking about Fiverr. This is definitely Fiverr Friday. There are some casting sites that you can go to that do have unpaid work. But listen, this is my suggestion to you. Don't look for unpaid work. Try to get paid work and learn as you go. I know some people don't agree with that, but that's okay. They are welcome to their own opinions. I'm going to tell you mine. Just go for it, because if you don't, you'll get that analysis paralysis thing. All right, let's see. This is just my opinion, brother. All right, here we go. Let's see. Any places you were? Oh, I know you've been trying to get that question answered. All right, we got a bunch of different people over there. We have Jennifer O'Dark1, MC Voiceover. Welcome. All right, let's head over to YouTube. We got Switch. Zach, what's up? I know the Bensel. We got Christopher Marsh. No, in Florida, no snow. John, what's up? Matthew, what's up, Matthew? It's good to see you, Matt. What's up? We still got to get that lunch, man. Troy, let's see. Rich, we got Rich. What's up? John, it's good. Don't you love Mark Zuckerberg? Yeah. Good old Mark. I really look forward to these. Awesome, man. O'Reilly, hey, hi, Anthony. Phil here. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Phil. Switch says, I'm about to rework some of my gigs, writing some new scripts in between regular work and Fiverr work. Awesome. And by the way, here's another quick tip. Do not wait. Do not wait, especially if you are writing. So Fiverr's I think it's like surfing, right? You're wading out in the water. You're treading water. You're trying to find that wave. When that wave comes, it's a massive wave. Like you find a massive wave. You ride that wave like crazy, right? And it's the greatest wave you've ever, it's incredible. And then you ride it as far as you can, and then it goes away, and then you're back to treading back out, trying to find the next wave. I swear, that's such a good analogy for life too, right? But it is true for Fiverr. So your job is to make sure that you are constantly searching for the waves, even when you are right in the middle of all of the crazy work. Okay, so definitely keep doing it. That's awesome, Switch. John, sounds like a fantasy to me. Yeah, we're talking about that. It's a good one. And it's true. It's true. Normally averaged 10,000 impressions a week. I changed my base price from $5 to $10, broadcast rights from 30 to 45, kept commercial rights at 15. Now I dropped down to 2,000 impressions a week. Thoughts? Thanks. Ray, thanks for asking the question. Anytime you make a change, all right, you're going to see changes in your impressions, no matter whether it's prices, no matter whether it's, you change a gig, whatever happens, you're going to see a change. Now, I can say that if you were, and I don't know what your average workload was, like how many you were doing a day, but I always have the rule of thumb that don't ever change your prices until you are so busy you can't physically do any more work. Once you get to that point, and you'll know when it is, like you'll be just swamped and swamped and swamped and swamped, then you raise your prices, because you need a little buffer there so that when you raise your prices, okay, you're still going to be getting work. And what will happen is when that average sales price goes up, okay, then you're going to make more money. But the thing is here, and this is the deal, right? Do you want to do less work and make the same amount of money, or do you want to do more work and make the same amount of money? But follow that rule of thumb. So you might want to think about changing it back and see what happens. Okay? I've had it sometimes. It's really odd. There's some times where you change it and it's just not working out. I'll be square with you. And sometimes you do and it does. Okay. I basically was at $5, my first $5 selling point for years. And then a few things happened, and I went up, all the way to like $20 within a span of 2 months. And it changed my business completely. And the traffic went up and up, but there was changes there that happened. I did a lot of different things, and which I always talk about here with making sure I was being very consistent, or I putting things at certain places, like in the description and in my requirements page and yada, yada. And then of course, at that point, then I became a top rated seller. So, you got to play around with it, Ray. Whatever you do, don't wait to make a decision, wait a week or 2-3 weeks, check out, see what the results are. If you don't like it, make a change or add a new gig. Do not just sit there and do nothing. All right, Ruby, your Facebook stream is clipping like crazy for me. Oh no. Well, it could be that I'm just too loud and being nuts. Stream is smooth on my end. Okay. But Facebook can be like that. Yeah, Facebook. I had to switch to YouTube. All right, good. Well, I'm glad. I don't know why, again, Facebook is having such a problem with things. I almost quit Restream because of Facebook, and I realized that it was a bad idea because it works out okay, All right, so let's see. It's Friday already. What happened to Tuesday? That's right, Tom. Christopher Mars says, for sending custom orders, should you prioritize gig types that are less competitive? Example, I choose to send my e-learning gig versus my American male voiceover since it's a less competitive search term. So search sending custom orders. Now, I'm not sure if custom orders, you mean when people are asking you for custom orders, do you send that gig? I'm going to actually tell you to do the absolute opposite, Christopher. You need to send the orders for the gig that you want to grow the most. The reality is that, Fiverr, just like any other place, right? They're going to show, just like any other algorithm, whatever's being used the most, they're going to show the most. So you want to try to funnel as much as you can into one gig. Now, I know you might say, well, that seems counterintuitive, Anthony, because you just said add as many as you can. But be aware, you're adding as many gigs as you can to get as much exposure out there. Once you get the exposure and then someone contacts you, like, for example, asking for custom order request, funnel that through one of your gigs, like maybe your main VO gig or your e-learning gig, whatever gig you want to boost, funnel it through there so that you can build up the reviews on that gig, okay? And it actually raises the rest of them as well. All right, Troy says, can we put our business website, Addy, and logo on our gig? Yes, you can. What about offering subscriptions to our VO services on our website? No, do not. So you can put, like, for example, I put my name, right? And but you cannot put any personal information like a website address or a telephone number, you know what I mean? Or something like that, or links to other sites. You can't do that, but you can definitely put your logo on there. Now, if your logo has like your link, like your address in it or at something, you know what I mean? Fiverr will probably come in and tell you to take that down or suspend your account. So, but I put my name in big bold letters and male voiceover. I mean, that's because I'm trying to keep, because the reality is Fiverr is super stringent about keeping stuff on Fiverr. mean, they don't care. And by the way, again, Fiverr made over $1 billion last year in revenue. I hate to say it, but if they kicked me off, I don't think they would blink twice. So they're not going to blink twice of kicking someone off the platform to save the platform. That makes sense. So just make sure that you definitely can add a logo and stuff on there, but make sure that it's not sending people somewhere else. Christopher says for sending. Oh wait, that was the same question. All right. Curse, what's up, Curse? What if we truly have skills in multiple areas and want to continue to offer services not related to VO? Oh, by all means, go for it. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I totally recommend that because Fiverr, listen, voiceover is not the highest grossing category on Fiverr. I mean, there's multiple categories that make way more, ridiculous. Like the number one grossing category on Fiverr is logos. Logos makes by far more, like quadruple what everything makes together. It's insane. Right. So, so please, by all means, I was just pointing out that what I did was I put my stuff up in a section that I could not do video endorsements because my brand, if I start endorsing things, that's like a VO's journey is endorsing that. And that's not what I want to do. Do you know what I'm saying? So so that was the wrong thing I just put it in the wrong place and I paid a price for it. I learned my lesson to make sure you're very careful about where you put it and the work that's going through that category. Because that's another thing too. If you're going to be choosing a different category, make sure you absolutely do your research what's going through that category. Good question. Ruby, Fiverr prohibits contact info on your gig. I bet you were probably talking to Troy. I had no idea they didn't automatically get linked to the gig. Yes, I know, right? BDoggy45, what's up? I sent out my first buyer request. They said my voice wasn't right for the project, but they liked my voice and dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. That's great. Because think about it, we're not. I always used to say, if I was acting and I was going to audition, I would not be cast as a 6'3" basketball player. I'm like 5'10", so it's like, I'm not that tall. So I'm not going to be cast that way. And you have to understand that same thing with our voice. We might just not be the voice that they're looking for. It doesn't mean we're bad. It doesn't mean we suck at voice acting. It just means we're not what they particularly are looking for at this moment. But they might look for us in the future. And that's why we have to keep getting ourselves in front of them, because when that time comes, they need us. We want to be the first person on their mind. All right, let's see. Yep, that's great. Absolutely. Curse says the realization that buyers don't see your gig buyer's request was huge for me. Going the other direction, buyers often ask for sellers to send sample auditions files, but we can't see. So in this particular case, when they ask you to send a sample, simply make sure you put in there and tell them to contact you. Because once they contact you, from a message standpoint, you can send a sample, right? Because we can attach things, but you cannot send a sample through. They don't let you attach things through the offer. So just make sure you say, hey, I would love to send you a sample. Just contact me here on Fiverr and I'll get one over to you as soon as possible. Just simply put that and then put like $100 down so they don't, randomly purchase your gig. But listen, do what you got to do. Use it as a message platform as well, because use it the way you got to use it. I've done that multiple times and people have contacted me for the very reason. Or I was a little confused about it and I didn't know what they were asking. So I said, hey, I'd love to talk to you more about this. Go ahead and message me and we can discuss it more. And they would message me and I would just, like I said, I would put $100 down, 10-day delivery just so it's not accidentally purchased, right? So that's just something that I do. All right. B-Doggy says, I will never forget luck. That's right, luck. So B-Doggy's talking about something that I put out before with luck, which is laboring under correct knowledge. So there is no luck. Luck is laboring under correct knowledge. So absolutely. John says, just found out I may be getting laid off. Time to get jobs. Dude, I have worked with a lot of people, John, who have been through that. I'm sorry about that, man. I wish you the very best. But maybe this is the time that you rock it out, my friend. TJ, not sure if this will help the person on Instagram, but I go on Reddit to record this for free. Okay, /record this for free and offer to help high school kids and college student learning to code by offer a voice for their projects. Oh, cool. Well, that's neat. Oh, I see what you're saying. So that was for That was from, what was it, for AOP Productions, who was looking for some unpaid work if they could. That's actually, thank you. That's a really good idea. And I don't use Reddit, but people get work on Reddit too. But I've personally never enjoyed that platform, but that's just me. It's a big platform. Let's see. John says, thank you on Instagram. Thank you again, Anthony. Will mentally prepare myself to be consistent, to not expect immediate results, to stay busy producing more gigs and marketing it. Yes. Again, it's like, it's so interesting how many of us, and we know people like this, right? Where they seem like they come out of nowhere and they're these, overnight successes. But when you dive deeper in the story, they've been at it for years and years and years. And finally, it's all come to a head. And that's the way you got to do it. I love that. Oh my gosh. It's, have y'all heard that story of it's a Chinese story, the type of bamboo, Chinese bamboo tree, where you actually plant this tree and you have to water it, take care of it, nurture it for 5 years. It doesn't sprout. It doesn't do anything for 5 years. And then upon like that 5th year, it will actually grow to an insane amount. I mean, like I'm pretty sure it's like 100, like it's nuts. I don't know if you've seen that. It's a story out there. It's like 100 feet. I know, it's insane, right? Like massive, absolutely unrealistic it seems, but it's apparently true. But so imagine you doing that, right? Imagine you doing something for 5 years and not seeing any results. Okay? Could you do that? Could you actually do that? And then on that 5th year, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, everything, you are so busy. There's nothing, it's everything you could have wanted and asked for. I mean, that's the kind of questions too you got to ask yourself. Are you willing to put in that extra work for a period of time for a delayed reward? Okay, I know I do. I hate delayed rewards, delayed gratification. I can't stand it. But I had to keep reminding myself that is the way of the world. When you sow something, you have to give something first before you receive it. Remember that. You got to give first before you receive it. And the more you give, the more you're going to receive. Okay. Let's see. We got if you offer buyers say if you make an offer in the buyers section and don't put a link to your gig, what happens? Oh, well, I mean, they can contact you, they can order, they can still make the offer. But what I'm saying is that a lot of times they ask to hear from you, or more importantly, they can't get back to you, or they don't know how to get back to you. I mean, you have to understand the people here, they might not be, Fiverr literate, right? They may not understand how to get around the platform. I mean, I've spent years on this platform now, and I go on there and just kind of troll around, trying to, look at places and whatever Fiverr's added, because Fiverr's always adding things. But people don't know what they're doing on there, so they may not know what they've got to, where they got to go, how to click. So if you get a link to your gig, not only can they go and listen to your stuff, but then they have it forever. So they can go back or they can send it to someone else. See, so you want to spread that link around as much as possible. Let's see. Rudy says, Rudy. Voiceover Angela. Angela, what's up? Good to have you, Angela. Let's see. John says, I like the big microphone picture in your background. That actually is curtains. So it's curtains that I found online at Amazon, and I wanted something nice. So I actually that's curtains because there's a window back there, and it also, thank you, I appreciate it. Let's see, but let's say you put your logo up without link information, etc. There's nothing to prevent a potential client from searching for it. John, absolutely not. I've actually got business because I put Anthony Pica. People go on to Google, they search Anthony Pica, and all my stuff pops up. And I have people who have worked with me and contacted me off of Fiverr because they searched for my name on Google, so they didn't want to work on Fiverr. And it works. Absolutely. John says, how can you find information about Fiverr categories, gross money, and people in the categories? So honestly, John, the way to do it is you dive into those categories and start seeing what they're doing. Start seeing the work. Listen to the best thing that you can do is listen to the portfolio work. So you know how we have on our gigs, right? You can listen. It's our main gig, our video, but then you have a portfolio of work that Fiverr records so people can listen to. Well, everyone else does. So when you go to the categories, go to as many people that are coming up on the search in that category and listen to them. Listen to them, listen to what is in their, like, listen to what jobs are on their, in their portfolio that they're doing there. That'll help out a lot. Let's see. Love the LUCK acronym. Absolutely. Thank you. What if your logo is a studio? Troy, I feel like the logo thing is really getting you like caught up, man. Like the logo, let it go, brother. Let the logo go. All right, put your name on there. It's it's okay. It's okay. TJVO, interesting. TJVO. I'm not sure what that was. Thanks for the tip regarding samples and offer verbiage to open up the conversation with the buyer. Absolutely. Well, hey guys, thank you so much. Sorry, Troy. It was like, sometimes, man, I swear, and it happens to me all the time. There's just something gets stuck in my mind, and I can't move forward until I figure it out. And I mean, I'm sure it's some sort of compulsive something, but I hear you. But sometimes you just gotta let it go. So listen, thank you guys so much. I've included, by the way, because today's Friday, so that means that you have less than 24 hours to get into our Fiverr Elite group for tomorrow's session, which is absolutely, we're going to dive into actually what we're talking about today on how to get work. And we're going to be going through each one of these with visuals tomorrow and reviewing people's work and seeing what they're doing. And we have some amazing stories in the group of some people who are having some extremely amazing success. And we'll be hearing from them tomorrow, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're interested in that, there's actually a link in the YouTube description right now, and but you can also find it at avosjourney.com. We meet every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but there is free replays, and if you join, you actually get access to all of the content, which by now is like over 40 hours of just incredible voiceover content for growing your business. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today. I really appreciate everything, and I will look forward to talking to you on Monday. All right, everybody, please have a wonderful weekend. Talk to you soon. Goodbye. Goodbye. Subscribe.